to talking, top rope walking, ultimate Xing, serious flexing, never be vague with your boy Craig, and opinion mixing from Pete to Nixon. Keep doing things in an impactful way. Bloody nonsense, as the Brits say. Talking bloody nonsense.
Yes, it's me. It's the MIC Craig, aka Mr. Impact. Joined as always by the one and only Peter Nixon. This is Talking Bloody Nonsense right here on the TNA IW channel. It's a new week, it's a new Impact, but first things first. Nixon, how are we?
All good this end, Craig. As you say, it's another week, it's another Impact, and we've got a ton to talk about again.
Yes, we came just give you a look behind the break the fourth wall a little bit. We came in with a subheading which we're going to go in on, but something as we're about to come and record happened, it dropped. On tap tonight, we will be talking about that article that came out that worried a lot of Impact fans of Jeff Jarrett and Conrad Thompson buying Impact Wrestling. Motor City Machine Guns are going to be all out, and according to Sean Ross Sapp, Impact have rejected Lady Frost's request to be released. And in the final 10, we're gonna Nixon to lead on this one, but Pro Wrestling East, Rock'em Sock'em Wrestlers, the review. I guess without any further ado, we should get into it, and we'll start off with our main headline of Jeff Jarrett and Conrad Thompson buying Impact Wrestling. Now, I should stress there's no real truth to this. It was just an article by a fan who started the rumors, but the online reaction was interesting, to say the very least. Again, nothing official from anyone. It was just a fan article, but Jeff Jarrett and Conrad Thompson buying Impact Wrestling. What was your first reaction? I don't know when you first heard that, and do you think it's a possibility, or is it just never going to happen?
My first reaction, Craig, was nah. I just can't see it happening. Conrad has so much going on, with his mortgage business, with realistically hosting 10 podcasts, I want to say. No exaggeration. Yeah. And I listened to most of them. And then Jeff, he's just finished up again with WWE. Been fired more times than Marty Jannetty. Yeah. If Conrad and Jeff, well, first things first, Conrad said he'll never promote again. I think he found Ric Flair's last match. Promoting that was quite stressful. Making sure all the moving pieces were aligned, and making sure everything came together perfectly. For one man, I know he delegated a lot. He must have, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
And they pulled it off. Ric Flair's last match was a tremendous success. I think it was even more successful than All In. So it would be deemed the most successful indie wrestling event of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, for those who didn't see the article, this theory came about from a few interviews done by Tommy Dreamer just before Slammiversary and by Gail Kim around the same time, both saying that some big changes are happening within Impact. Gail Kim mentioned to look out for some new faces of Impact. So it came about through that, and obviously the link with Impact and Ric Flair's last match. I think that's where the majority of the speculation came from. But when I first saw it, my first reaction, the first thing I said was, "Nah, I'm good." It doesn't appeal to me in the slightest. I'm sure with Conrad, Jeff might do a better job, but that's two wrestling companies Jeff Jarrett's run. and to very limited success. Now TNA, of course, objectively the only one of the very few contenders to WWE since WCW at that point, or the only contender from WCW at that point when the TNA first came around. And what TNA's heyday is, you can put that down to 3 years, 4 years, and the company's in the process of rebuilding. Now, I think mainly it's coming from a TV perspective, but I don't see how Conrad and Jarrett could change that. Anthem literally own a bunch of TV networks. Their Anthem board consists of some of the best in terms of business minds. Anyway, you've got the likes of Steve Harvey. I believe Mark Cuban is on that board. I think that part is fine, but is that where you think the rumors come from as well? Do you think it came from all those the link between Flair's last match or I don't know, because they never made any reference to it, right? I haven't watched a lot of my one. I've watched the few TN episodes, but I haven't watched. They've made no reference to buying anything. Like,
yeah, they have. So I listen to My World every week. I think it's a tremendous podcast. They were joking at the start of the year that we're going to buy a wrestling, we're going to start a wrestling company, and it became a running joke. But what they were referencing was the plans that were in place for Ric Flair's last match. And then Jeff also bought a minor league baseball team. So I can see how this all snowballed, and people might have got it in their heads that Jeff and Conrad might have something to do with Impact Wrestling, because Impact were, as we've talked about, they were all over Ric Flair's last match. What's his name? The producer, the director. I can't remember his name. Zahadi.
It's Hardy, yeah.
David Zahadi. He directed Ric Flair's last match. He is the director of Impact Wrestling. He's the director of the TV show. And then, all the Impact Wrestling references on Ric Flair's last match. I can see how people put 2 and 2 together and came up with 5. But yeah, I don't think it's happening. And like you said, I'm not for it, honestly. If it does end up happening, Impact is in perfect hands right now.
Yes.
They've got tremendous support from Anthem. They've got a good, not great, but good TV deal. And, like we say every week, if you can't watch it on TV, it's on YouTube. 99p a month. That's 25p an episode.
Yeah, the TV thing is important. Every Impact fan knows the TV deal is crucial for Impact at the minute, but it's not. It doesn't threaten the consistency of the show. It doesn't threaten the show itself. They have a home, a guaranteed home, but obviously they're looking. Evidently, they're looking for a new TV network. But that's not. That is the main. That's the main focus right now. I'm assuming, because they seem to have pretty much nailed everything else. But it's. I'm fully aware that an Anthem first took over, they had a 5-year plan, and it's just past the 5-year plan now. But I don't think they're going to sell anytime soon.
Well, in that 5-year plan, we had a pandemic, so I don't think the 5-year plan, any deadline they had in mind, they would have thrown that out the window.
Yeah, I don't see them selling, because they're bringing out figures. They're The next step, please make the next step be replica title belts. That's what I want, because there's a big market for that.
Mm.
So but Conrad and Jarrett, I mean, it doesn't for me.
No.
From what I've read in the article, they mentioned it in My World or something. Jeff Jarrett is like, or Jeff and Conrad are working on some video game.
Yeah, Wrestle Quest
to
comes out next month, I believe. It does actually sound pretty cool.
I have to do a bit of research on that, but it does. There's nothing for me, purely because why would Jarrett go down that road again? Why would he possibly consider buying Impact again when it's in good hands?
Yeah, and also I highly doubt Impact is for sale.
Exactly. People always assume Impact's for sale. I mean, I'm guessing they have their price, but it'll take a lot. Everyone has their price.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Let's move on from this topic, because I think it's all rumor and innuendo, as Bruce Pritchard would say.
Yes. Something that isn't a rumor. The Forbidden Door has swung back into AEW via Impact Wrestling. Coming up at All Out, believe this Sunday.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
September the
Alex Shelley, Crusading Mercy Machine Guns, will be teaming up with Jay Lethal with Sanjay Dutt in their corner, taking on FTR and Wardlow. It was announced on Dynamite about a week ago. Or the day, a week ago. Today, tomorrow, whatever it is. Machine Guns, Chris Sabin appeared on Rampage. Came onto the ramp to scout their opponents. And the door we thought very much was closed has been booted open again. What's your take on that? The Machine Guns as well. I as far as I'm aware, I think it's only Sabin who was signed, but Machine Guns are very much Impact Wrestling. They mentioned Impact Wrestling. The commentary team mentioned Impact Wrestling. They played the Machine Guns theme song from Impact Wrestling, used highlights from Impact Wrestling, and they could have easily used the ROH highlights if they really wanted to. Yeah. But what's your take on the Machine Guns at All Out? So I wasn't expecting it.
It took me by surprise. Big pop, because I watch Dynamite every week. So saw this when it was announced. And they even have Impact Wrestling on the match banner. I don't know if you saw that as well. Really cool. I think it's going to be a great match. I know Alex Shelley is very much looking forward to getting in there with FTR. I think Wardlow is the only man that's out of place in this match, because it's very much Team TNA versus FTR and Wardlow.
Yeah.
Really, really cool announcement. Excited to see the match. It's probably the match I'm most excited for at All Out. Which I watch every AEW pay-per-view. They're always fantastic. But I'm just not that hyped for this one. It's meant to be the biggest show of the year, and I don't know. There's some good matches on there, but nothing I'm really hyped for. Nothing that I need to see. So, but I do have a theory of why we're getting Machine Guns over on AEW. Yeah, I think. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about who Sami Callihan might be bringing in for Moose and Macklin?
Yes.
There's every chance.
About the champ?
Say again.
Thinking about the champ?
I'm thinking we could be getting the AEW World Champion Jon Moxley at Bound for Glory. I think that's the only trade that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm obviously I don't watch AEW. It's actually been 4 years since I last watched AEW. It Machine Guns popping up, cool. I guess it means now. I don't know if this is the Kazarian favor being repaid or whether this is a new favor being repaid or starting up, but I'm more excited about who we could get from AW in exchange for a bit. I mean, it's I generally didn't know all that was happening until that you messaged me about the announcement of Machine Guns. I didn't have a clue all that was taking place because I'm aware of what's going on over there, but not so invested in it. I'm not invested in it at all. Admittedly, it's not really my thing, but honestly, I'd be more excited if it was Sanjay Dutt teaming the Machine Guns than for Jay Lethal. I was never really a massive Jay Lethal fan.
That's fair enough. I don't think Sanjay wrestles anymore.
No. But it's cool. It's obviously the door's back open fully now in all directions apart from the WWE. But hey, if that means we can get Moxley or if it means we can get, I don't know. I'm so behind on the roster. I'm not fully aware who the champions are, but apart from I think Wardlow's TNT champion.
Correct.
Yeah.
The tag team champions
No
are
idea who the
AEW Strickland.
Right. No, I know. Well, I know Jade Cargill is the TBS champion because the internet is obsessed with her. Internet very thirsty.
Yeah, she's good, but she's very new. But she's beyond her skills are beyond her years.
Yeah. All I know is what I see online, and I believe she's in a team with one of the team members is Kira Hogan.
Correct.
Baddies. Yeah. So I'm aware of what's going on over there, but it's cool. Like I said, Machine Guns, best tag team in Impact history. Probably the best team going right now. I may go out of my way to watch this matchup because FTR are on fire right now, and Machine Guns are the best. Wardlow, I don't really know a lot about him, so I can't really check it out. But I will probably go out of my way to watch this one, and that's I consider I haven't watched AEW in 4 years. I'll go see what this one's all about. Now we're going to move on to the announcement that, as we record, just happened. According to Sean Ross Sapp at Fightful, Impact Wrestling have rejected Lady Frost's release request. According to sources in Impact, Lady Frost was on a exclusive pay-per-appearance deal, and Impact have not been paying her because it was pay-per-appearance. And given she hasn't been on TV in months, Lady Frost also apparently reached out to Leonard Asper, and Asper then responded back, wrote her back, and said that she can, if she wants, she can sit out the rest of her contract, but will not receive any payments. I mean, the situation seems to be a mess, if we're being frank. Lady Frost's release came as a surprise to pretty much everyone, and now the request has been denied. What's your feelings on this one, Lady Frost not getting her release?
don't really know how to feel. I definitely think she wasn't being used to her full potential, because she's such a unique and fantastic talent that they could have done much more with her. And they didn't use her for a couple of months, and then we found out she had requested her release. So we thought, oh, fair enough, she wasn't being used. She wants to go do something else. That's fine. Impact will surely grant her release. But they didn't, and I'm not entirely sure why. I did read somewhere that there's been a breakdown of communication, but none of us know exactly what's happening.
No.
You know, if she hasn't been granted her release on purpose, there has to be a reason.
Yeah.
Whether Impact are playing hardball, I wouldn't have thought they would keep her under contract just so she didn't go elsewhere, because that's not Impact's MO.
No.
She is only on a pay-per appearance. It can't be that exclusive. She has to be able to work elsewhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's just not fair. You know, she has to be able to make a living. So I don't know. It's a weird one. I'd love to see these fences mended, and for her to come back. I obviously can't see that happening now. I don't know.
No.
What do you make of this, Craig?
Well, the information is still has literally just hearing about it now, and yeah, Impact. Doesn't seem to be the done thing for them for someone to ask for their release and for Impact to not grant it. Obviously, there's been different situations, with Michael Elgin, but that was a completely different situation where they kept his contract run out, or and I think there's a few other examples like that, but I don't know. Lady Frost was there for a cup of coffee, gone. Had an opportunity to become a number one contender for the Knockouts World Championship in the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X. Had a great match against Giselle. Had a great match against Deonna Purrazzo, and then obviously wants to release. Again, wasn't stated why, but to have her on a pay-per appearance deal is kind of confusing, because I don't see how you can have someone signed to an exclusive pay-per appearance deal. They've signed to the company and are fully paid up member of the roster, or they're someone who pops in now and then, like with Chelsea Green and potentially soon Deonna Purrazzo. I genuinely don't know what to make of this one. It's because this isn't what Impact tend to do. I genuinely don't know. Lady Frost, we thought would show up somewhere else by now. This explains why. But I genuinely have no clue on what to say on this one, because it's so confusing, I guess is the right word. Like I said, there has to be a reason behind it, and we'll probably never know that reason. I'm not sure on this one, because Lady Frost has been appearing at independent shows, only a handful, but she has had opportunities. I genuinely have no idea. This doesn't happen very often with Impact, but when it does, it seems to be a very confusing situation from both sides. I genuinely don't know what to make of it. Is
it possible that she's shopped herself around and no one's really interested? So she's made up this narrative that she's on an exclusive deal and can't get out of it. That's not me accusing her of anything. It's just pure speculation.
Yes, all we can do at this point is speculate. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, because it's such a difficult situation that it's hard to gather much of an opinion when we only know the bare minimum. We only know what the dirt sheets are releasing. So I have no idea. It's such a difficult situation.
You'd think she'd have popped up on Dark by now, at least.
Yeah. Or gone to one of the WWE trials. Like, they've had a few since.
I'm not sure WWE would be interested in her purely because of her age.
Yeah.
Although now Triple H is in charge, age discrimination can finally end. But during the Vince regime, she wouldn't have gotten a look in for sure.
No. But who knows? And then obviously now, if AEW can't sign someone to AEW, they have Ring of Honor.
She'd be perfect for Ring of Honor.
Yeah, great. Or even the NWA. I don't know what's going on there. None of us do. But yeah, I guess I have to wait and see what comes out of that. And just before we move on to Impact, some unfortunate news coming out today again. Impact Wrestling releasing a statement about Violent by Design's Joe Doring taking a step back from wrestling. If you're unaware of Joe Doring's past, he 6 years ago unfortunately suffered from brain cancer, and sadly it's came back, and Joe Doring's had to, of course, step away from in-ring active competition for his health, of course. It really surprised me reading that, because I'd seen on his bio that he was a cancer survivor. To sit back, it's devastating. I can only imagine what Joe Doring, his family, and everyone who cared about him are going through. It's really a difficult situation. So of course we're sending every bit of positivity we have to Joe Doring and everyone around him. Hopefully he can beat it for a second time. It's just an awful situation to be in. I can't even begin to imagine it. So every bit of positivity we have is going to Joe Doring and everyone who cares about him. So now we're gonna go on to Impact coming up this week. But before we do, it kind of seems a bit trivial now, but we're gonna take a look at the power rankings from last week's Impact. If you agree or disagree, let us know. Of course, you can join the power rankings committee. All you have to do is drop one of us a message from the channel. We'll get you in there. Show up once you watch Impact. Drop your top 10 wrestlers featured on Impact that week, and then you can go about your business and go about whatever you enjoy doing. So here are the power rankings. Over to Datia.
Number 10, Bhupinder Gujar. Number 9, Honor No More. Number 8, Death Machine Sami Callihan. Number 7, X Division Champion Mike Bailey. Number 6, Jessica. Number 5, World Champion Jordan Grace. Number 4, Tag Team Champions Bullet Club. Number 3, Time Machine. Number 2, Tag Team Champions Vexed. And number 1, World Champion Josh Alexander.
And we are back. So those were the power rankings from last week's Impact. We're going to take a little look at this week's Impact coming up. Speedball Mike Bailey defends the X Division Championship against Kenny King. Mickey James has an announcement. John Perazzo takes on Marshall Slamovich to find out who the next number one contender for Jordan Grace will be at Bound for Glory. Alex Zane returns to take on the debuting Mascara Dorado, the former Grand Metalik. And I'm assuming it'll be the main event. The match we're waiting for quite some time since Hard to Kill. The Good Brothers defend their Impact World Tag Team Championships against OGK, Matt Haven, Mike Bennett of Honor No More. Is it kind of a daft question to ask which match you're most looking forward to?
I'm actually really looking forward to Alex Zane and Mascara Dorada. I think these two will tear it down. I think Alex Zane is one of the best, well, I'm going to say it, the best free agent on the market right now. If Impact could lock him down, I'd be ecstatic. I think he is tremendous. Yeah, cool. Looking forward to seeing what he can do with the former Grand Metalik. That's going to be fantastic. And oh my God, please let OTK finally get what they deserve.
Yeah. Yes. Of course, Maria is banned from ringside for this one, thanks to Collinson's win last week on Impact. I actually watched that match with my 5-year-old nephew, who is seems to be a big fan of Carl Anderson. So a little wrestling fan on my hands. Finally, I've got 8 nieces and nephews, and I finally made one a wrestling fan. Got one, the last one, but we've got one.
Yeah.
No, I fully agree with what you said about Alex Zane. We kind of missed the boat on Blake Christian, which is a big disappointment because Blake Christian should have been snapped up ages ago. Yes, I understand he had a better opportunity come when NXT came knock him. Fair enough, take it, go for it. But to lose him to ROH, that's a bit of a sting. I mean, obviously we don't know what's going on with ROH, and we've been told they've got a big TV network deal, but we don't. But is it going to be what AEW thought their UK TV deal was going to be? We don't know, but we missed out on Blake Christian. We have to sign Alex Zane. Got to. He's such a talent, and since he left NXT, has just been on such a roll, especially New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Great matches since every time he's appeared on Impact, and I'm generally excited about Mascara Dorado of Grand Metalik. I was when the Lucha House Party were at their, I guess you can call it a peak, even though it didn't really peak very, very highly. I was in and out of WWE. Like, I was slowly coming to my fill of watching WWE on the regular. And Lucha House Party, they were great. They were great fun. And Grand Metalik, out of all of them, was probably looked the best, I guess. Lindsay Dorado now is a lot of fun. Whereas in WWE, it's kind of just there.
Yeah.
Kalisto, again, when it's part of 205 Live, got a bit of a push. That got scrapped. Lucha House Party back on Raw, SmackDown, whichever one it was. Cool. But and part of me wants to see Grand Metalik, Mascara Dorado taking on Steve Macklin, because I remember from, I believe it was Extreme Rules, the Forgotten Sons of Cutler and Blake, not the other guy, forget him, took on, it was a scramble match. It's Lucha House Party and I think there's a couple of teams in there that I forget, but Cutler, Macklin, and Metalik, they had some. They were good. I enjoyed that part of the match when those two got to square off. But yeah, Good Brothers OGK, it's gonna be banging, and it has to be it. Has to be. I know, of course. If it is the end of the Good Brothers, where do you think they're headed? Because, of course, the last few days, apparently rumors are the talks between Good Brothers and WWE almost immediately broke down. The Good Brothers saying they won't come back for less because they remember how it was last time, which is fair enough. Probably won't go to AEW because they're full. Let's be real, they're full. So New Japan is looking like their best opportunity, but yeah, I feel like this is an ongoing topic, but there's something new happening with this topic every single week. It's just what if the Good Brothers are done, what next? Which I think we're going to have to wait and see what their answer is now, because we spoke about it too much. No. Yeah, if you've read the spoilers, I'm sure you already know. And
I am spoiler free, Craig.
Yes, I am almost. I didn't see not first match, but a someone coming in. Oh, it's not really spoiler, so I believe they are a former Ring of Honor TV champion, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. I think they may have been, or maybe 6-man, but yeah. If you've seen the spoilers, you know, but I'll leave it at that and let your brains ponder if you haven't thought of it already. And also on BTI, we have Ace and Bear, the Bullet Club, taking on JD Griffey and Exodus, who I know absolutely nothing about.
I have no idea who that is.
Don't know who they are, where they come from, but I'll probably check it out because it's a team I haven't seen, and Impact are in desperate need of some tag teams. So I'm looking forward to all that. If you're watching this after you watch Impact, drop a comment and let us know your favorite match, and if you want to even put your power rankings in there, I'm sure we can get them in the group. So, add into the overall tally of the power rankings. I guess I'll very much ahead of schedule, but I think this one could take a bit of time. Let's take it over to the final 10. And from last week's final 10 of a preview, we now go to the review. It's a little throwback from before. Pro Wrestling East, Rock'em Sock'em Wrestlers. I guess we'll take it over to you, but I did see the latest match and match announcements for the next show, and we have quite an important match coming up. But I think we'll take a look at Pro Wrestling East. So, of TBN Chat's guest Charlie Morgan was featured on this show, as well as G Money, as well as yourself, Jetta, and so many more incredible talent. But yeah, we'll take it. What happened at this show then?
Well, I mean, I didn't get to see much of the match. I saw a little bit of the opener, which was RJ Singh and Scotty Rourke, which was one of the semi-finals in the men's championship tournament, which RJ Singh went on to win. Match was really good from what I saw. They had good chemistry, those two.
Yeah.
I think PWE at some point should book a rematch, because I think people would like to see it again. All these matches will be available on YouTube soon. And when they drop,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about it on this podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, the semi-finals in the women's bracket, Charlie Morgan defeated Rita Slayworth in what some people refer to as match of the night. Apparently, there was a very amusing spot with a scooter. I think it doubled up as a Hoover, I want to say. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, look out for that one.
Yeah, trying to figure out how that one works, but
Rita Slayworth does the old school housewife gimmick. She's golds and ties her hair up, polka dot bow tie and things like that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a fun gimmick. She plays it well. The other semi-final, Nightshade defeated Jetta. So that is your final for November 12th. Pro Wrestling East presents Worth the Wait. Wait spelled WEIGHT. That'll be November 12th back in Cambridge at Stories Field. So yeah, Charlie Morgan against Nightshade to crown the first ever women's champion. What else did we see? Frank Fiot, our good friend, who we owe a theme tune to.
Yes.
He has announced that there will be tag team champions being crowned in the near future. So we did see some tag team matches on this show. Unfortunately, Sunset Skip wasn't able to make the show, but Tommy Kyle stepped in.
Top Gun Tommy Kyle.
Yeah,
Like him a lot. Rate him.
Yeah, good guy, great wrestler. He teamed with Simon Miller against.
Very nice.
Yeah. Another fantastic guy. Can't even tell you how cool this bloke is. They wrestled. Who did they wrestle? Oh, bugger. The other tag team match was the 87 of Alexander Roth and Roy Johnson against Tim Lee Carnage. Which
very
was
nice.
Yeah, Tim Lee and Carnage were doing the raffle. They were brought in purely to do the raffle. And
very nice.
Yeah, there was some sort of interaction. They ended up having a tag team match. From what I understand, a lot of shenanigans there. If you've ever seen Tim Lee wrestle before, he's a fantastic comedy wrestler.
Yes, we've got. I may have missed it, but Peace and Middle East with Ollie Pearson, Jordan Said had the Diadem and Associates of Camille House and Tarquin against Sky O'Shaw and Bo Bells.
That's right.
Yes. I mean, wow, what a card! Very stacked card. Definitely gonna check that one out. But so, how did your match go?
Well, the main event of the show featured myself in the other semi-final of the men's championship tournament against someone who is prolific on the British indie scene and someone who no doubt will break out, go to America, go to Japan and make a big name for himself. Gene Money. What can I really say about it? It was an honor to be in the ring with someone that I look up to, and someone that personality-wise, I guess I see a lot of myself in him. I think we complemented each other in terms of our characters. I thought it would be, a sporting contest, but Gene took it upon himself to blindside me with a big kick and really laid it in, and really sort of turned, if I could use an insider term. But the match was really. I don't want to break down too many barriers. The match was. I loved it. You know, I learned a lot from Gene, and you know, I've been in the business for 11 years, so you know, you never stop learning. But yeah, I won. I guess that's where this is headed. So Gene absolutely, you know, it took all of his big moves to try and put me away. He hit me with the Ainsley lariat, but I was too close to the ropes. I got my foot on the ropes, and he was getting more and more frustrated. He picked me up to go for a second lariat, but my legs went. I just crumpled.
Wow.
As he was picking me up again, I dug down deep. I snatched that inside cradle, 1, 2, 3, and you're looking at the other finalist for the men's championship on November 12th.
Very nice.
Yeah. Had a lot of compliments about the match in terms of, you know, the quality from the fans and from the other wrestlers. So that always means a lot. And I'm looking forward to watching it back myself.
Yeah, that's definitely, so that match is out, I will be checking that one out because I'm very, very interested to see that one. And I'm already figuring out next week. I'm hopefully I'm booking the train fare down to Cambridge. I've got to be there for that one. That's definitely got to try and do everything I can to get that. Even though the train is like 78 quid. Yeah, mad. But nah, I'm got to be there for that one. Tickets are available now for that show. £15, I believe, and you can get one from the if you just there's links on the Pro Wrestling East Twitter page, but simply Google Pro Wrestling East, and you'll find everything you need to know about what's happening. When it's definitely gotta try my best to make down to that one, and take it back a few weeks, but this week I managed to catch another show featuring your good self, DOA Wrestling. Oh, what's the show called again?
Beach Ball Mania.
There. Yeah, I caught that show. A very, very good show. I mean, if you haven't watched it already, go check it out. Nixon's match against Danny Darko. I mean, some very, very fun spots in there. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Some highlights were the watermelon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I imagine that one hurt.
It was so heavy.
Yeah, I imagine that one kind of hurt just a little bit. Of course, how can we overlook the water pistol full of beer? I mean, but and of course all the other matches. So many to choose from.
Brett Semtex defending the heavyweight championship against Damien.
Yeah. Killer
Brad
match.
Slayer against Rex Wild. Amira versus Mia Cortez. Yeah, it was a hell of a show.
Yeah, I was mentioned when we had the Booker man on. That Mia Cortez is someone I've become familiar with a lot more recently, and got a great character there. Such a good character. Nah. Again, if you haven't seen it, you made a pretty big challenge to Big Effing Joe for the anniversary show, and it's been made official.
Indeed, it has. It's October the 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, sure. Don't check that. But yeah, it's official. Is again, it seems to be, especially in the UK scene right now. It's pretty much on fire. Yeah, I should have. I remember someone came on, but coming up, I can't remember the name of the company. They're running an all women's show, and I forget the name. From NXT UK, it's a first appearance on a wrestling show since release of NXT UK. But yeah, so the British wrestling scene is really, really good right now, and I'm not sure how much it will highlight it, but certainly put a lot of eyes on the UK coming this Saturday as a Clash at the Castle for the WWE. Drew McIntyre is headlining, which again is a big deal because that's something we never thought we'd see arguably again. Last WWE pay-per-view was in the UK. I mean, it wasn't even live. It was Takeover London. It wasn't even live. But I've gone back and watched all the old school UK pay-per-views on the network, and there's something about the atmosphere in those arenas.
Yeah, there's some fun shows from back in the early 2000s when WWF used to run like Manchester Evening News Arena or Earl's Court in London, places like that. Some great memories of watching those shows. I never got to attend one, unfortunately. But my Blu-ray has just arrived. The 30th anniversary of SummerSlam 1992, the biggest show in British wrestling history, and Clash at the Castle this Saturday could, smash that record.
Yeah, easily. On Sunday we have Worlds Collide. We've got again some people came up through this scene. But on that show, we're going to have some bangers. That's a Tyler Bate taking on Bron Breakker. Dewdrop, Viper, Piper Nevin. This is Nikki ASH taking on fight for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. So many. It's going to be killer weekend. But yeah, it's wrestling right now is very, very cool. It's so good.
There's so much to look forward to and so much good stuff to watch on the internet or to attend. Yes, it's a great time right now for British wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling. We've mentioned it a fair few times, but I want to get your quick thoughts on. I believe it was. It was William Regal again saying, I want to know how you feel on this. William Regal saying that NXT UK didn't kill the UK scene, and it wasn't responsible for the downfall of the UK scene. As someone who was in the scene, did you feel that NXT UK had a negative impact, or do you think it helped raise it?
I don't think it really had any effect. I think the two shows in Blackpool, the UK, the NXT UK Championship tournament. Those 2 nights in Blackpool were great for British wrestling. That it got eyes on some new talent. People like Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, Mark Andrews, Trent Seven, even people like Zach Gibson, and James Drake, Sam Gradwell, and it got him a nice big payday, and created awareness of these wrestlers. So, you know, if you see these people on a poster, you're more likely to go. And these companies that are promoting these people will draw bigger houses. So, yeah, those two shows I think were great for British wrestling. NXT UK, because let's be honest, no one watched it. But I watched the takeovers, and I watched maybe, I would say, maximum 6 NXT UK TV shows I watched, and that's because my friends are on them.
Yeah, I didn't watch the tournaments, but I mean, everyone on the internet saw everyone in the Royal Albert Hall take off their shoes for Zach Gibson. That went everywhere. And I watched a fair few of the NXT UK shows when there were I believe it was the Corn Market. I believe
the Corn Exchange in Cambridge.
Exchange, yes. I watched pretty much all of those because it was still new. Then it got to Birmingham, and it didn't feel right. The lights were down. It just felt like a house show, which I couldn't get behind. But I've watched all the takeovers. They were great.
Yeah.
And for me, a big highlight of those shows was the crowd. Yeah. It 100% it shone a light on how great the UK crowds are. You know, the chants they're coming up with, and of course the "Are you watching Vince McMahon" chant got a lot of attention as well, which is just a lot of fun. And you can go back and look at the matches. Tyler Bate versus Walter. What a match at Takeover Cardiff.
Yeah.
And if it weren't for the pandemic, we would have gotten Walter versus Finn Balor.
I think we'll
take over Dublin. Yeah, it's just a lot of great matches that didn't get as many eyes as they thought it would.
Yeah, I heard Walter and Ilya Dragunov had a really good one on NXT UK, but yeah, apparently it was amazing, but no one's seen it because it was on UK television.
Yeah.
Just to go back to your point about, or William Regal's point about, did NXT UK hurt the British wrestling industry? There's only one specific example I can think of where NXT UK hurt a specific show, and that was the Southside anniversary show, where NXT UK pulled all of their talent off of the show. But I don't know if you remember it. That's when Cody Rhodes,
AEW guys involved,
help out, brought MJF and what's his name, Sean Spears.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So Will Ospreay said something at Rev Pro a few weeks ago about the NXT UK people that have been released and are now obviously looking for work, because they're going to be commanding a bigger wage, and some companies are not going to be able to pay that because we're all suffering right now.
Yeah.
He said, Will Ospreay said, "Cool, great, come and rejoin us, but don't forget who kept the lights on whilst you were out."
Yep.
And I think that's so important.
That's a really great point. Yeah, that is. It's because it's obviously it's got to be difficult for them coming from guaranteed money to not really know whether how much they're getting paid from night to night, have to work double the amount to earn even a fraction of what they're potentially earning with WWE.
Exactly.
But all the companies are struggling. It's we're suffering from the biggest inflation this country's seen like since post World War II. Like, there's a lot of things going on, and it's going to be a great thing when these guys come back. But yeah, Will Ospreay makes a fantastic point there, and it's hard to disagree with that. But I guess there we have it. We will call this a podcast. It's been of course, we've talked about a lot, but if you liked what you heard, or didn't like what you heard, let us know in the comments what you thought, what you didn't quite like, what you didn't like, and we'll endeavour to respond to them. And just drop a like on the video, subscribe, do the whole thing. Follow us here, there, everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, wherever else you podcast. I've been the MIC. This has been Nixon, and will continue to be Nixon. Until next time, bye, my friends.